Hi everyone. So in this particular lecture, I will be connecting the position and momentum basis. So we have already discussed that both position basis and momentum basis are the examples of the continuous basis representation. So if we have some vector psi in the vector space, we can expand it in the position basis as integral d cube r psi of r, the ket r. And the same thing in the momentum basis, we can express it as integral d cube p, the psi of p, vector p. So again, this ket r represent the position basis. So these are the eigenvectors of position operator. They are the eigenvectors of position operator. And similarly, the ket p, the ket vector p, is the momentum basis vectors. And they are the eigenvectors of momentum operator. Now, since both these representation are a representation of the same vector, so therefore there must be connection between them. Okay, now recall what is the psi of r. The psi of r is a projection of the vector r. Sorry, the projection of our original vector psi in position basis, and it is called a wave function in position basis. And psi of p is the inner product between the p psi. Now it is possible to connect these components, the psi of r and psi of p. Okay, so how we will do that? We'll see here. So what we can do is, so take equation number 1 and equation number 2. Now take inner product of 1 with the momentum vector. Then on the left side, we'll get the inner product p psi. This would be equal to the inner product p. Psi can be written as integral d cube r, psi of r, the ket r. Okay, so this integration can be taken outside. So this become integral d cube r, the inner product p r times psi of r. And what is the left side? It is the p psi, and p psi is nothing but the psi of p. Okay, so the wave function, the momentum basis can be connected with the wave function, the position basis, according to this relation. Okay, so this can be equation number 3. Now, similarly, we can find the reverse connection. So here I have expressed the wave function in the momentum basis in terms of the wave function in position basis. So its opposite can also be done. So what we have to do is we have to take the inner product between the r and psi, and the vector psi you can expand in momentum basis. So vector psi we can write d cube p, the psi of p, the vector p. So this become integral d cube p, the inner product rp, psi of p. And what is the left side? The left side was psi of r. Okay. So here I have expressed the wave function in the position basis in terms of the wave function in the momentum basis. Okay. Now this kind of connection is already familiar to us in case of Fourier transformation. We can transform a function from one variable to another variable. So for that we can take some example. So consider two function f of p and f of r. So we can connect this f of p and f of r through Fourier transform. So this f of p we can write as 1 upon 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral f of r e raised to minus I p dot r by h cross d cube r. And what would be its reverse? How we can write f of r? So f of r we can write as 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral f of p e raised to plus ip dot r by h cross dqp. So equation number 5, the equation number 6. Okay, so this kind of connection is called Fourier transformation. So one is called Fourier transform, the other one is called the inverse Fourier transform. Or in general, they can be called as the Fourier transforms. Okay, so if you have a function in terms of two different variables, it is possible to connect them. Okay, so I have included an h cross here because p dot r has a dimension of angular momentum, but the quantity of the argument of exponential must be dimensionless. So that is why we have divided with h cross. So if it is a dimensionless, then there is no need to put h cross. So earlier when we are dealing with in mathematical methods of physics, you might not have used this h cross symbol. The main reason is so there you might have used a dimensionless quantities. So that is the difference. Okay, so here it is this p dot r has certain dimension, so that it has to be dimensionless when you are using p dot r, or when you are using a variable inside an exponential function or iterative function. So any iterative function, for example, sine, cos, tan, log. So the variable inside such functions must be dimensionless always. Okay, so this p dot r by h cross is a dimensionless quantity. Okay, remember this h cross has the dimension of angular momentum. You can just recall the Bohr's principle. It is the angular momentum of an orbital stationary orbit is multiples of h cross. So that there you can remember that the h cross has a dimension of angular momentum. Okay, so since this is the simple way of connecting the functions of momentum and positions, then it is very straightforward to identify what is the expression for PR. So we can just compare the equation number 3 and equation number 5. So we can compare equation number 3 and equation number 5, and we can identify this the inner product PR would be nothing but 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 e raised to minus I p dot r by h cross. And by comparing equation number 4 and equation number 6, we can find this inner product RP is 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 e raised to plus I p dot r by h cross. Okay, then we can write our psi of p and psi of r. So the psi of p now can be written as 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral psi of r e raised to minus I p dot r by h cross integral d cube r, and psi of r would be 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral psi of p e raised to plus I p dot r by h cross dqp. So this is a connection between the wave functions in the position basis and the momentum basis. Okay, now we can just look at the normalization condition. So if the ket psi is normalized, then the inner product psi would be 1. Now how we can write inner product psi? The inner product psi can be expressed in terms of wave function. So inner product psi can also be written as the inner product psi times an identity operator times psi. So this I can be expressed either in terms of the momentum basis or in terms of position basis. Suppose if you are expressing in terms of position basis, this identity can be written as integral d cube r, the outer product RR. Then we have a ket psi on the right side. So here you will get one integration d cube r and 2 inner product, the psi of r and r psi. The psi of r is nothing but the psi star of r. So we can write this d cube r psi star of r, psi of r, and that would be equal to 1. So the normalization condition can be written as the normalization condition, a normalization condition can be written as integral psi star of r, psi of r, d cube r would be equal to 1. Similarly, we can prove the same condition is valid in the momentum basis as well. It is psi star of p, psi of p, d cube p would also be equal to 1. So these are normalization conditions of the wave function, the two different bases. Now it is possible that these two inner products are same. Okay, anyhow the right hand side is 1, but we can explicitly prove it. So we can start from one integration. So integral d cube r, psi star of r, psi of r, or the integral psi star of r, psi of r, d cube r. So this can be written as integral psi star of r. How can we represent the psi of r? Psi of r can be written as 1 upon 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral psi of p e raised to plus I p dot r by h cross d cube p. So it is possible to write psi of r in this particular way. Okay, psi of r is this. So that I have written here times d cube r can be written. Now this integration always commutes. So we have two integration now, two integration. 1 by 2 pi h cross, okay, we can take it outside later. Psi star of r, psi of p, and d cube r in d cube p integration. So what we can do is first we are going to perform d cube r integration. Okay, let us, we can take psi of p outside. Then what is the remaining quantity? 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral psi star of r e raised to plus I p dot r by h cross d cube r, then integral d cube. Is it okay? Now we can write this as psi of p times 1 by 2 pi h cross all raised to 3 by 2 integral psi of r e raised to minus I p dot r by h cross d cube r, all complex conjugate. So we have taken complex conjugate commonly outside this bracket times d cube p. Now by definition, what is this the quantity inside the square bracket? The quantity inside the square bracket is nothing but psi of p according to the original definition. So this becomes psi of p times psi of p complex conjugate times d cube p, or integral psi star of p, the psi of p d cube p. And what was the left side? The left side is psi star of r, the psi of r d cube r. So this is nothing but the norm of the vector psi. So the norm of vector psi would be same in both representation. So this result is known as Parseval's theorem. Okay, so with this, we can stop the discussion on the connection between position base and momentum basis. So in the next lecture, I'll be discussing how we can represent the momentum operator and position operator in these two bases. That is, we have practically two bases, two important bases, the position basis and momentum basis. So what is the representation of these operators, the position operator and momentum operator in this basis. Okay, so so we can stop our discussion here. So just recall the connection between the position wave function and momentum wave function is nothing but a Fourier transformation. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. We'll see in the next class.